Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2018. This song is Despacito. I am Goes. To my right is the host of the show, Gorgeous George. In New York, producer Danny Okers. And Dan Tom is off this week. I am going to grab this charger. So, George, you say something for a second. Or Danny.
Danny.
Hi.
We need more than that.
Oh, okay. Well, how's your day going so far, George?
Well, that involves me, Danny. You going solo for a while. I'm doing something.
Solo for a while? Yeah. Alright, well, I'll go a little bit behind the scenes. The reason that we have Despacito playing is because George hadn't heard of it, and I usually
Whoa. I had heard of it, but you know what I thought, Danny? I thought it was one of those clown songs, like when you go, man, who's the idiot that likes Despacito? So I thought it was just like a dumb song.
I'll tell you. I've
been listening to it all morning. It's not bad, actually.
Yeah,
dude,
it kind of creeps up on you. Yeah, it started as that because Goes and I both have intro songs, when we first hop on in the mornings, and I did this one as a joke, and then we kind of both started a little bit. I don't know if you liked it before that, Goes, but I didn't at all.
I didn't, and then when you started playing it, I was like, hey, this ain't that bad, and the next thing I know, got kind of.
I got used to playing it every day.
The girls love it. You put this song on and they're going nuts.
Yeah, I'm into it.
The song or more Justin Bieber for girls, at least.
Think so?
I don't know.
That train ride's got to come to an end, right? He's Bieber, but you're only Bieber at some point, and then there's just a new guy, isn't there?
But doesn't he look like he's just too young? I'm not going, oh, Selena Gomez. I'm going, hey, I'm close to 40 years old. She's 15.
How old is she really, though?
Is she even 21? Or?
Really? No, she is.
I thought she was 30 or something.
No, she's definitely in her 20s.
I think she's 24, 25.
Yeah, even I kind of look at her and go, oh, that's a little too young. Well, yeah. I don't know. Bieber looks like he's 20.
I just figured there was someone new. Who knows? Is he still it, though?
Well, I think this is kind of him or the song?
Him, the song.
The song, I think, is finally starting to play out a little bit. But if you play it, they played it at Eye Candy the other day, and sure enough, you just see the dance floor and people come out, and people really get into it.
It's catchy, yeah. I'm not hating.
Coming up in a minute.
I'm not hating on Biebs either. I would imagine if I saw him, I'd do the same thing I did with Lorenz Tate. Get a pic. Maybe gain a few followers, but I'm not going to go out of my way and run them down, for a mile and gush or anything like that. But from what I can tell, he's it looks like he leads not a stressful life, but it just doesn't seem like there's really any normalcy to it. And he's really, really a few layers detached from reality,
I think things are different now where I'm not so sure he's the guy that puts out albums. I think he just does a lot of
a guest.
Me and this guy put out a single, that sort of thing. I think it's not kind of what Rihanna does too.
But if he was walking by here, could you go, hey, let's go to TNT and grab lunch? I mean, you'd get mobbed, right?
Yeah.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we do and why we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, our East Coast, and back east, he'll handle the producing duties today. It's Danny Olkers. Olkers. What's up, everybody? Wednesday, January 3rd, it's hump day. That's what I love about taking Mondays off, is you come in on a Tuesday, and that's your supposed Monday. You know, Mondays and Tuesdays are supposed to be long days, but if you get past that and you get to this hump day, and boom, you're already close, that much closer to the next weekend. Whereas when you take Friday off, yeah, I get it. There's a short week to get to Friday off, but something about you get to Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and then you get to Monday, you're like, oh man, I had such a long weekend. I don't know. I've always enjoyed Monday off as opposed to Friday off.
Yeah, I guess I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. Well,
Fridays
when I was more of a corporate
too.
guy,
More people are taking Fridays off as well, so it's not like the streets are a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I always focus on the day, or not on the day, but the next day. So today I'm not tripping that it's Wednesday. I'm more thinking, man, we're almost at Thursday, and Thursday means we're right at Friday. The weekend's coming, but I never focus on today.
Well, we're not halfway there. Wednesday just started. I guess if you're Danny Olkers back east, he's halfway there. But whatever. This is our second show of the year. Don't quote me, but I think it's show number 2,592 or something like that.
Yeah, it might actually be.
Is it? Okay.
I think so. Sounds
yeah,
about right.
I think we had reached a round number as we exited 2017. But here we are, and it's going to be a fun show. Let me tell you who's going to appear on the MMA Junkie Radio Show. Matheus Nicolau, who defeated Louis Smolka at UFC 219. He is a flyweight who is ranked in the top 15 in the USA Today Sports and MMA Junkie rankings in that flyweight division. That's 125 pounds. And he'll be on in the first hour of the show. I try and stay away from the times a little bit just because of the replays that are out there. So there you go. You know it's a 2-hour show. You know it just started, and he'll be on in about half an hour. Then TJ Dillashaw will appear half an hour after him, so he'll be at the top of the second hour. And lastly, we'll close out with Emil Meek. He'll be in studio. He is a UFC welterweight. He's got a fight coming up versus Kamaru Usman, and that's a pivotal fight for both guys. Usman's ahead in the pecking order in terms of, you know, looking for a shot at the world title held by Tyron Woodley. But Emil Meek could basically catch him up and take all that from him if he were to get past him. So this is a huge second fight for him. Usman's been trucking along. He did the reality show, and then he's just picking people off, and now he's talking a little bit more. As much as Covington is, so is Usman. He feels like he can do it. He can win this title. Dillashaw, of course, is the world champion, and Nicolau is moving along there, except he's in the same division as somebody who just has been unbeatable. He's been the only UFC flyweight champion in the history of the flyweight division, Demetrius Johnson. So I know it's frustrating for those guys, but it'll happen at some point. I thought Joanna was not unbeatable. I'm pretty close to it, and that opened my eyes. Like, wow, you just have to be on point. But that's what Demetrius has been for the last 5 years, on point.
You know what was different? I'm with you. Obviously nobody's unbeatable, but she was pretty much as close as you can get to that, in my opinion.
It felt like you couldn't outstrike her, and it felt like taking her down was very difficult. Keeping her down was very difficult. Yeah, and cardio, you weren't going to out-cardio her. She seemed determined and driven and nasty, and the master of the mental games and the psychological warfare. It just seemed like she had almost every check mark.
It reminded me a lot of what Vanderlei Silva and Chuck Liddell went through, where it was just like, how do we beat them? Like we're trying all these things that we think are the weaknesses, but we just can't get them done. But the thing about the way she lost was, it's not like it was just one punch that got her, and then that's it, right? Like, Rose landed that punch a few times, right? Rose had some different successes in that fight. So now it just shows that, if you just keep working on things and you really game plan, maybe you can get a guy like Mighty Mouse. I don't know. It's just, but I think Rose doesn't get enough credit. I think a lot of people just go, she caught her. And that wasn't the case. She did catch her with a punch, but she landed that punch a few times.
Right.
She did a lot of good things in that fight. So Joanna got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how she can counter that. But it doesn't seem like if they had a rematch, you think Joanna would be the underdog?
It's a good question. I think it'd be pretty even.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks that way.
Joanna would still be the favorite.
By the way, it looks that way because I think I saw Tisha Torres lining up against Andrade.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait. I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw it the other day.
And I thought Tisha might be next for Miss Namajunas. But Joanna had done some interviews in Poland a few months ago or weeks ago, and she seemed to imply like she would be next. And I thought, I wonder. Who knows? You got finished. We didn't. Not much doubt was left, but she did have a nice title reign, so I could see her being deserving of it. And plus, she's marketable. So I thought that would, that she was still in the running. But when they made the other booking, then now I was sure of what was going to happen. Karolina Kowalkiewicz and Carla Esparza both hold wins over Namajunas. So with them actually having wins to close out their 2017s, I imagine they'll just need to keep padding that. And even if it's not them earning the shot, at some point I do believe the matchmaker grants the champion at least some say in what direction they like to go in. And if Rose is one of those that wants to avenge her losses, then maybe she might pick one of those two.
Strikes me as someone like that.
One of them was a split decision loss. I think it was the Kowalkiewicz one.
Well, the Esparza one was dominant.
Esparza, yeah, she dominated her. Speaking of Esparza, I still get a kick out of the introductions when she's in the octagon and she's just standing there waiting for a bus. That's what I think Nick from Vancouver said it. He said she's just standing there like she's waiting for a bus. I mean, she doesn't move. It looks like she's not even breathing. Like, you'd have to get the camera up close just to see her, like, inhale, exhale. Now, I applaud the fact that she's probably saving energy and she's not turning into this Tasmanian devil, Look at Holly Holm, for example. When she comes in, she's got this little gallop, turn around. A little gallop, turn around. A little gallop, turn around. Drives me nuts. It really does. You know why I want her to become champion one day? Just so she's the last one in the octagon and not to sit there and watch that. I mean, it's like back and forth, but can't argue with her cardio. She's pretty much there till the end of the fight. So it's not like she's expending energy, but everybody deals with it in a different way. Some people are, jumping up and down. Remember Kevin Randleman, all those like squat jumps he was doing? So that's the uniqueness of mixed martial arts. Is everybody's different. Some people sprint to the octagon. Some people don't want to hug their coaches, and they just go, "No, come on, put the Vaseline on. Let's go. Let's get in there. Let's do it." Like the Diaz brother, he'll wave it off. And so everybody approaches it different. But every 6 months when we see Carla fight, I get to see that one moment, and it cracks me up.
The only thing that lets us know that she's actually alive is she just kind of raises her hand up a little bit when they call her name.
Yeah.
But Felice brought that up in the interview. She was saying she's trying to become more like that. She says that's something that helps.
More like Carla?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something that actually zones in and helps her out. And so, yeah, maybe there's a method to that madness.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because it's not like she has a bubbly personality. We see her out of the cage. She's loud. She likes to have fun. So, I mean, it's not like she's just focused.
Another thing I've always wondered, if I can jump outside of MMA for a sec, is the soccer warm-up. They have like conditioning and warm-ups where they'll determine whether this, a certain player can play.
Are you talking about before the game or a guy that's about
way
to
before the game?
Check into the game.
No, way before the game. And then, obviously the manager will decide on his starting 11 and whatever. So these players will go through a bunch of warm-ups. They'll kick the ball around and everything. But I've always tripped out on how they have to go back to the locker room just so they can do the walkout. And then they have to go and stand there and do the picture and then high-five each other and shake hands. And then they'll come out and they have about a minute or two to, once again, I guess get warmed up. But then after that, it's just basically all-out sprints, especially for the midfielders. Back and forth. And I'm just wondering if that cool-down affects them in any way.
Well, college basketball is kind of similar, right?
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. But
it's incredible how once you fire up the engine a few hours before, you're just basically kind of idling it. And then you come out. I wouldn't want to do that. Once I kind of warm up, I would like to start playing. Not kind of go through a cool down and a shake of hands and a this and a that. But who knows? Maybe Carla just has an intense warm-up, comes up, and now she's idling, and now she's chilling, and now she's resting. and that's it.
When I run the hill, I like to stretch at home and then get in the car and go. But I noticed that the getting in the car and then when I get there is enough to kind of like cool down a little bit. So I have to do it again when I'm there. Not as much, but yeah, I don't like that cool down period.
Yeah. Yesterday I didn't. I hope I didn't do. Wait. No, I hope I did do it, but I'm gonna do it again. But if I did do it, I hope I'm not losing my mind. How about that? All right. Did we give a shout out to Ryan Gibson?
No.
Okay, I had it in my notes and somehow it got lost. Ryan Gibson is a listener of the show. He's involved in MMA. He's assisted fighters before with sponsorship, and he's actually, advised and assisted us in the past as well. And this is a young guy who, if you are friends with Goes and I on Facebook, or maybe you're already friends or you've just heard of him, he battled, I believe it was a form of cancer that affected his eye, and he lost an eye.
It was behind his eye, I believe.
Right. So these are all medical terms way beyond me. But when he got the eye, I guess, what do we call it, the fake eye? It's probably a more formal name.
Prosthetic eye.
Prosthetic, there you go. That deal, he actually got the Bayern Munich soccer team, the biggest soccer team in Germany. He got their logo, and he basically had their colors inserted. And it actually got the attention of the club. So he's had a relationship with the club, and I think they flew him out, or he's flown out on his own, and I think he was about to fly out, but definitely he's been in contact with them. They know about it. Bayern Munich fans know about it. A few players know about it. I think he's met a couple. It was a huge deal. I was very happy for him. And if you look at the eye, it's cool. I mean, what happened wasn't cool, but without treating him in person and just seeing from a distance, he seemed to handle it about as good as someone could handle that situation. Well, this young fella started off 2018, I guess, on the bad foot because he was in a head-on collision. And if I were to sit here and list his injuries, I know one of them was like a shattered femur, 2 broken legs from the knees down, and that's just the beginning of it. I think something was punctured a spleen. Man, he's got a long road to recover. He may actually have to be in the hospital 3 to 4 months. I think that's what I read. And so our thoughts and prayers with him. He is alive, and again, he's got this amazing positivity where, he's even had a few Facebook chats and things like that. But just wanted to give him a shout out, man. I really mean it when I say, hey, have a safe and happy new year, as we exit. I just know it's one of those days where when you're outside, anything can and will happen, including the drunk drivers, that have just taken it too far. That and bullets that are going up in there and they have to come down, and drinking, which leads to hostile situations and who knows what. But I just hope that when I lay my head down on the pillow and I wake up, that everyone around me is safe, and we just kind of get through it. It just seems like one of those days where it's the stats go up because I think everybody likes to go out and have a good time, but you just kind of know something's gonna happen, and in this case something did. But Ryan's still with us. But just a big shout out to you, Ryan. I didn't want to just hit the like button and put what everyone else was putting. I just wanted to tell you that I did read it, and I know you've had a bad run lately, but I enjoy your positivity, what you've made out of it, and wow, I mean, keep us abreast of what's happening these next 3-4 months. You seem to be a good guy, again, without really getting to know you. Like,
awesome
is he?
guy.
Yeah, without really getting to know him and say, oh, we've had him over for dinner and all that, but just in the times that we've crossed paths and talked, he just seems like a real cool guy.
Really, really cool guy. He's been here for some of you guys met him at the Junkie Gathering for our 2000 show, I believe he was here, and yeah, just really solid guy. Really, like, he motivates a lot of people, and man, it just sucks that he's had such bad luck lately. But yeah, we're thinking of you, bud.
Faux show. All right, and then one other thing here. UFC 219, I think we kind of put it to bed. You can always bring it up. You call in, bring whatever up, whatever you want up. 866-522-2846. But I do remember thinking that night, boy, they could have really used the original fight of Lineker. Well, the original fight of Cruz and Rivera. That would have been nice at 219.
It would have been nice.
And I still had a good time even without it, but then they tried for Lineker, and that would have been nice. And then that didn't happen. And then the push that they made for Marias, wow, that would have been nice. But I felt like 219, it wasn't going to reach what 217 and 218 did. Yeah. But it could have got us a little bit closer. There was also some decisions going on.
But they were kind of interesting. Like, I don't know if this will make sense to anybody, but it felt like one of those cards that you don't know was really good until it's actually over. And then you look back at it.
Yeah.
Like, as you're watching it, you're not going, oh, my God, this is amazing. But then when you go back and you go, wow, that was actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
But you had to let it play out first. So
you
really
did.
Weird.
You did, yeah. And then can I say something, and hopefully I don't come off like a jerk. I'm going to try and explain it as best as I can. I'm going to have to use a fighter for an example. So because there was a lot of decisions, there was a lot of fighters that they stand there, right? And I hope you're watching the video. YouTube.com/MMA Junkie video or Facebook.com/official MMA Junkie. If you didn't have that information, you have it. That way, in case we're trying to explain something, you can kind of watch the video. It'll come in handy when Emil Meek's here later on as well, too. So the fighter will be standing there. Let's just say you lost. The ref's here in the middle between us, and then I won, right? Okay. So we're standing here, and our hands are being held. My left hand's being held by the ref. Your right hand's being held by the ref. And then eventually they just kind of go, and the winner, by decision, Gorgeous George, you know, and I lift my hand. And then they kind of like go up to the mic or the camera, and they kind of go like, yeah, what's up, baby? You know, love you, and that's for my kid or my pops at home. And then they kind of fist bump the coaches, but then they start doing that little look around like, where's Rogan at? Where's Cruz or where's Anik? You know,
they even have their arm out sometimes.
Yeah, they're kind of looking around like, yeah. Well, let's get to the interview part, right? I got some stuff to say, but I find myself going, fool, you ain't got nothing to say. I mean, we ain't about to hear you. The UFC's over you because you didn't finish. And here's the other thing. I think they give a pass to the ones that try to finish. And when they don't, it's part of a scheduling thing. I get that. It's part of a scheduling thing because the UFC's going, it's a 3-hour show. We got a title fight. What if they go to distance? What if someone gets kicked in the nuts? What if someone gets poked in the eye? What if? Because we can't go over. And by the way, they went over on Saturday by 7 minutes, I believe. So they're really trying hard not to do that. But I believe that's why the Diakisi fight kept getting pushed back. You know, the first fight determined that they weren't going next. I believe. I'd have to ask. When I used to know Bert handling, I could ask him, but I don't know the new guy too well. Tony Barbosa, I think his name is. I don't have as much in touch with those guys. But I think they kept postponing that fight or whatever because they shouldn't have been the featured fight. But then they bring out, who'd they start off with? Not Magny and Condit. Who was it?
It wasn't Magny and Condit? Hold on, I got it right here.
Cyborg on home. Yeah, it was Magny and Condit.
Yeah.
They went to decision. Then Esparza and Cavillo went to decision. And then they bring in Hooker and Diakise. And I think they just probably thought, hey, maybe we'll catch our break till the end. But that came close to, if they really didn't want to go over, they would have had to do that. They call it a post-lim.
Like UFC 100.
Right. Anyway, the guy I'm going to point out is Jury. Jury really had a dominating fight over Glenn. But the one thing I think has always struck me is there's certain people that are fighting sometimes, and when they're fighting, they're dominating, and it turns into more like glorified sparring, like I got this guy or I got this gal, you know. But I really believe that either between production and the UFC, a decision's made that this guy or gal didn't go for it when they could have, and here's their quick resume. They're not really team players. They've talked shit about us in the past. And then all of a sudden they just have that awkward moment of like, yeah, what's up? You know, where's Rogan at or whatever. And then there's nothing. And they just kind of go, oh, okay. And I think at that moment they realize I may have done fucked up. I mean, I should have maybe stepped on the gas or whatever. Or maybe when they get to the back they realize, I didn't maximize what I just did. I just kicked someone else's ass. And no one really gets to hear me talk about what I want next or anything like that. So any young fighters that I think are moving up in the world or they're part of the UFC or whatever, I kind of learn from that, in my opinion, because there really is something to be said. Now, there are people that get to talk after decisions, but I believe it's because they have, on their resume, they're team players or they've just been they've promoted the company or themselves better in the past rather than people that have either been complainers or whatever. And I really don't remember too much of Jury just because he's been in and out or whatever. But I I don't know. I just know I get the feeling sometimes there's some guys or gals that could have turned it on a little bit more, and they don't, and they just always seem to coast to the decision, and then it winds up costing them.
Well, I think that's more on the FS1 side of it, where I think those decisions get made, because they're super pressed for time. Like, they can't screw around at all.
But I believe they budgeted 25 minutes for every fight.
Do you think the matchmaker, though, has any...
Yeah.
He's got a headset on.
Yeah.
You know, he could say...
I think he's saying it. No, fuck this guy. Yeah, no, we're good.
Maybe, because there's been times where,
I think they'll fight for other ones.
They had time, but they just didn't do it.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't know. I don't know how often they would do that. It'd probably be a good.
I'd have to hit Miles Jury in Google and just see what the history has been and see if there's anything where Jury feels like he's not being promoted. Like one of those things. But for the most part, I think if you're dry or if you're not out there trying to promote yourself or anything like that, I think that's their chance to go, well, then, sorry, we don't have time to hear from you. You know what I mean? That
look that you were talking about when they're getting a decision read, did you notice Cynthia Calvillo? She was jumping up and down. I think some people, even if they know the fight was close, sometimes they act like, nah, I got this.
They convince themselves.
She legitimately, if you look at it in her eyes, I think she really thought she was going to win and win easily. And when that thing didn't go her way, man, you just see somebody get crushed.
Do you question her fight IQ then? Because should she have known better that was a close fight?
She should have known that it was a close fight. Yeah, that's for sure. But who knows? Who knows what the corner's telling her?
Right. Who knows what they're feeling?
Maybe you got it.
After being in a fight for 50 minutes, who knows if you've gotten your bell wrong? What you're even thinking? Now, what I think she was thinking was in that first round, I had her back. I was attacking. I had that first round. I probably won one of the other two. But yeah, the way she was jumping up and down, I don't know. I wasn't convinced that they were going to call her name. That's for sure. And I had her in a parlay.
Back and forth. We weren't too sure.
I felt unsure. I was like, I don't feel good about this. You know what I mean? So sometimes I think the jumping up and down is to help the case of like, what? Oh my God, I got robbed. Hey, everyone, bury this ref or these judges. And then maybe others are just because they've been in a train collision and they really feel wobbled and confused that they really just thought. And then they go back. And if you read Cynthia's comments, either the next day or later on, she gave a lot of respect to Esparza, and it could be that she was like, "Oh fuck, I fucked up." Like I get it now, but
you can make a case for her winning the fight. I think there's certain fights that if you watch them a certain way, you can make a case for somebody. I think she has to at least watch that and say, "You're right, it was a close." You know
what?
I don't know that she would watch it and go, "Absolutely, I lost," but she has to at least agree that it was a close fight.
We're going to go to commercial in just a second, but I want to pull up the scores. So it was consistent. Look, D'Amato, Camijo, and Rosales were the judges. The first round went to Calvillo. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But all three judges had Esparza in rounds 2 and 3. So that's different angles.
I'm trying to remember what round
if you look at the media scores, I'm looking at what appears to be about 20 scores, and it looks like 3/4 of them had Esparza 29-28, and only 4 had Calvillo 29-28, including MMA Junkie, who's John Morgan. He's the one that's doing the play-by-play there. So, it just seemed like more people saw it the other way. So that's that. Now how they called it Calvillo, I think you would have heard an uproar, and in my opinion, an uproar is short of robbery. Robbery's like Pacquiao and the guy in Australia, or Pacquiao and Bradley won. Those are robberies. But I feel like maybe we witness a robbery every quarter. I don't think we see that many fucking robberies. It's just that MMA fans are used to just if it didn't go their way, it's a robbery, and it shouldn't be that way.
Well, I remember there was one round. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but it was one where I think Cynthia was more active, but Esparza was landing more of the power punches, and I remember we were having that discussion of which one was worth more. Then there were a few where she got the takedown, but she didn't do too much with them. So I mean, the rounds were up for question. I can see why she thought she won the fight. But I don't think that I would have gone in there saying, I absolutely got this. And I don't think Carlos should have felt that way either.
Right. That's why you have to overwhelmingly win rounds. All right. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will talk to Matheus Nicolau. Had the names reversed there. He is a Brazilian flyweight who got a win over Louis Smoka this past Saturday at UFC 219. 13-1 overall. So we'll chat and see what's next for him. All right, we'll be right back, folks. Thanks for listening.
The skies are blue. You act so innocent now.
All right, we're on commercial now with SiriusXM. That's Danny Elkers playing the music, kind of adding a little bit of. Was that you, Danny, going in and out?
Yeah, did you do
I like
Yeah,
that.
that was me.
So Danny's producing on top of the already produced song. But just want to let you all know that we appreciate these comments on Facebook. So let's go through them real fast while we're on this 5-minute commercial. It looks like we have Billy Ton, who's saying ZZZZZ, we're boring. So, all right, well, what do you say to that? I guess we're not your cup of tea. Edward Miller, TJ, your son is a spitting image of you. Congratulations to you and your wife. Oh, wow. Is there a picture out there? I just know that Bronson Jack came to them on the 28th. I didn't click this Instagram, though. Look at the kid. Oh, look, he's got a blanket with his name and everything. Yeah. I think it's too soon for the spitting image.
Actually, I kind of.
Or does he like look
I
at
kind of
TJ?
co-sign him. Yeah. The
Does
face.
he? Okay. I don't know. All I know is you're just supposed to say every baby is the best looking baby you've ever seen, and just leave it at that. You know what I mean?
I was kind of an ugly baby.
Were you?
I think so.
Let's see here. Daniel Jacobs Tax says, "Hello, people. Hello, Daniel." Jacob sounds like it would be maybe Greek. I don't know. Kim Shank. How did we establish? We just call her Kim from Vegas, or Cross-eyed Kim back in the day.
Yeah.
But how is that last name? Chris
Shang,
Kim
I
Shang. Shang. Pretty good, Danny. Just busy as hell. You? Oh, she's talking to Danny.
Yeah, it's looking at me.
Danny's got his own
All right,
fans.
I gotta hit the bump. Be right back.
All right.
We know our geometry better than your high school math teacher.
Octagons, rings, and square circles on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app.
Mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, and so much more. We are SiriusXM Rush 93.
Listen anytime on the SiriusXM app.
She says you pronounce the name Shangy.
Really?
She wrote
No
Shane,
way.
like someone's
I thought
person
I
whose
asked her
name
this one
would
time.
be Shane. Then there's a dash, and then there's a G. So
Oh.
Shangy. Unless it's Shang. But it looked like she wanted us to read it as Shangy. Aaron Staten says, I fucks with y'all. Thank you for giving us something to watch while we patiently wait for the next round of fights. Thank you, Aaron, for the kind words. Don Jonka says, good day. Toronto in the house. I love Toronto. Toronto people are really, really some of the coolest people out there. Starting with my man, Gally from Toronto.
I wish I knew how to
Ryan
pronounce it.
Caddick says, I like rings for MMA. What do you guys think? I do. I really do. I like the M1 that's got the cage on the bottom
Oh, I thought
so
you
that they
meant
don't roll out. No, I think he meant rings.
I think they should have rings too.
And then Affliction and Pride. Obviously, you could just see a lot better as a fan. But somebody asked, have you guys looked at the rings for the medieval fights? I saw the medieval fights, and like there was some sort of a beatdown at the end of the medieval fight, and they tended to the guy, you know. But I was thinking, nah, I'm just good with letting them fight. If we're really gonna do this medieval fight, then let's have it to the death, and like they really did it back in the day.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't want to see that, so I think I'm just good not seeing medieval fights. What's up, Danny?
Hey, we're back in a minute. I tried Matheus.
Yeah.
Matheus.
Yeah.
And I got the message. All circuits are busy now. Please try a call again later.
Really? It was a 323 number.
Yeah, I got it twice. It's really weird.
Oh boy.
Stupid circuits.
Let me see if I can text them, right?
You know, when people bring up rings, you have to remember too. There's a big difference in rings. Like the Affliction ring was really big. The Pride and the Pride ring was more squarish. And then if you even go back to like IFL, there were different rings. The MFC ring I think is my favorite, followed by the Affliction ring. And where the Affliction ring is still around. I think it's the one they use at Ruka. I'm not sure. Where did I see it? I saw it pop up again, but yeah, there's also different rings. I mean, I really liked. I thought the Affliction one was the best one. Nah.
Stand by.
MFC.
Everybody get up.
They're so fat, they gave Dracula diabetes. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
Start your day off with SiriusXM. What you want to do is enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device, then tell Alexa to set the alarm for your favorite channel. You'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. All right, so we struck out there with our first attempt to get Matheus Nicolau on. Danny, my text appeared to go through, so let me see if they respond. And then I just want to make sure that the number I got from Fernanda Pratis, maybe I didn't. I think I usually just copy paste, but let me make sure here.
In this song, the guy actually, it almost sounds like the Fat Albert. Hey, hey, hey. They just keep saying over and over.
Yeah, no, I gave you the right number, so we'll wait and see, Danny. Maybe try in about 5 minutes. And I want to.
You get a text sooner.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, now they're saying call me. So try it again, Danny.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right. I just want to look at one last thing here. Kim was telling us again the pronunciation of her name. I'm this close to not giving a fuck, but it
that was your thing, pronunciation.
Shangy.
Can somebody from Toronto?
No, it's Shang.
Somebody from Toronto tell me.
No, not G. So yeah, Shang.
I know we say Toronto, but have you noticed people from Toronto say Toronto? Like Rob does that, and so does Gally. So I'm wondering, do we pronounce it wrong, or is that just your accent?
I don't know.
Yeah, they always say Toronto.
I think I'm good
and
with just
say
Toronto, right? Yeah. All right.
You're just good.
Santo Antonio de Padua. I think that's RJ for Rio de Janeiro. And it says Liga de Sal aquí, okay? Oof. I don't know what that meant. I hope I didn't just say F my mother or something like that. Jason Ford stirring things up. Says he hates soccer.
That's it?
Well, a few other things, but yeah.
I can understand that, though. That's a sport that...
He's chiming in, too, on the ring and how McCall got sliced because of it. So, yeah, look, I'm not saying it's perfect, but aesthetically, I've always enjoyed the rings.
It's easier to see at a live event.
Yeah. Redskins, they suck, I believe is another thing he said.
Ah, shut up.
Yeah. So, there you go. All right. Thank you, Facebook chatters. Good to get you, and I'll see if I can pop into the YouTube chat in a little while. How are we looking, Danny? Danny must be talking to the upcoming guest, Matheus Nicolau. So that was set up by Fernanda Prates. Shout out to her. I haven't had a chance to not only just thank her, but she's done a few of our recaps lately.
Yeah.
And have you noticed she's kind of putting in a little bit extra? Like they've been extended recaps.
Oh, well, she.
And sometimes you get like about 3 or 4 lines. He said this, she said that. Boom, listen, Junkie Radio. But I read about 4 or 5. 6 maybe, from Thanksgiving to Christmas on, where they were really, really extended, and they hit a bunch of different points along with the video highlights. It was really, really excellent work.
Thank you, Fernanda.
Yeah, thank you, Fernanda, for those. Danny, what's the update?
He is there and ready to go.
All right, let's talk to Matheus Nicolau, who's 13-1-1 overall. He's coming off a decision win over Luis Smoka at UFC 219. And in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, he's now 3-0. He's got a 6-fight win streak going. and it's got a balanced finish ratio of 4 knockouts and 4 submissions. He joins us now on MMA Junkie Radio. Hello, Matheus. How you doing?
Hello, guys. Everything's going good, and you? Thank you for the opportunity to come here and talk with you guys.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for the fight. It was very entertaining. You and Louis Smolka had a great fight. And even a bigger thank you for speaking great English. I'm glad that we can do this interview without a translator.
Yeah, actually, my English is not that good. I'll try my best, and if I miss something, sorry about it, but I'm trying my best.
No, trust me. We've heard some terrible English from some Brazilian fighters, and your English is good. So, how did you learn it? Like in school, or did you get a tutor, or how did you become so good at English or speaking English?
Since I was a kid, I was like 13 years old. Like I studied a little bit in the school, but the English in the school is too basic, But in my jiu-jitsu academy, my teacher, he always put me to talk with the gringos, for practice my English. He always put in my head that, like, hey, you gotta practice your English. And I learned a lot by talking with people and playing video games. I think that playing video games, it was what teach me most.
I can relate to that because I've heard from people that learning English is easy by watching cartoons and television.
Correct. Yeah. Soap operas is what I was told.
Soap operas?
Soap operas, because the actors that act in soap operas are trying to get to the next level of making movies, and they're kind of fresh out of these, what do you call, when they go to the universities and study cinema. Mm-hmm. And so they're like enunciating perfectly, and they're using hands and gestures and really, really acting. It's like acting 101. And so you'll rarely hear like much slang, unless, of course, I guess there's a scene that involves a criminal and they got to do it, but it's really just a lot of proper acting. And because they're daily and because they're not only acting out and saying something, you're actually seeing something. So like if I were to go, hey, you, go over then to that castle and, deliver the news to the king or whatever, we'll see you walking to a castle and then walking up to a king who's got his whole king outfit, and you actually have to deliver the news. You see what I'm saying? We don't want to bore Matheus with all this, but that's why we've heard that. But seriously, it's going to be very good for your career, Matheus, the fact that you speak English, because after your fight you were able to connect, you know what I mean, with the fans and the media, and I think that's so important.
Yeah, I think that was good. I was kind of worried about it and say, hey, can I do this in English? But it was good because when it's about something that you see on your day, like fighting and stuff, I can do easier and then can just flow. And Joe was good because he just asked me some things about the fight and technical stuff, so it was easier to do than other type of subjects,
Right. So let me ask you something. You're one of the younger Brazilian fighters on the roster, and I wanted to ask you, did you basically become motivated to become a fighter by guys like Nogueira and Anderson, like the generation before you? Was it one in particular, or do you remember if it was an event or a fighter that actually made you think, wow, I want to be like that person?
Yes. There's one guy specifically when I was really young, because I was a huge fan of the Gracies, back on Pride and stuff. I was a huge fan, and my brother, he did jiu-jitsu for some while, so I entered in the martial arts world in jiu-jitsu, so I was a really, really fan of the Gracies, and then Sakuraba just came in
and nice.
To destroy everybody, And then I was kind of, man, that Japanese guy is crazy. He's destroying the invisible guys that I thought on that time that was great. And then Vanderlei Silva just came in and completely destroyed Sakuraba. And I remember that me and my brother, we have a tape of the first fight, and Vanderlei with like nasty knees and stuff, like kicking the head on the ground and stuff and everything. And man, that for me was like, man, I want to do that,
Right.
I want to do that one day. And then I know that Vanderlei is like a Muay Thai fighter. He's not much a Jiu-Jitsu fighter, but I just think that was his way of fighting, his aggressiveness and everything was so interesting for me. And then I just entered in Jiu-Jitsu. start training jiu-jitsu. But since in the beginning when I started jiu-jitsu, I have in my mind like, hey, I want to do MMA. I want to try MMA. Back in the time, it was not even MMA. We call it Vale Tudo, you know.
Right.
But then I'm pretty sure that Wanderlei Silva was like the first guy who gave me that curiosity. But then in the years, a lot of other fighters that I really admire, like George St. Pierre, Jose Aldo. I lived with him for 5 years, trained at Nova União, you know. And then I started to like watching more fightings and liking different types of fighters. But for sure, Wanderlei Silva was like my first admiration on MMA.
And just to be clear, did you become a fan of Sakuraba, or were you mad at Sakuraba? Did you want a Brazilian to kick Sakuraba's ass, or did you admire Sakuraba because even though he was beating up Brazilians, you know, he was just a great fighter?
It was kind of both. In the beginning, I wanted some Brazilian to kick his ass, of course. I was kind of saying, how can that guy do this with the graces, you know? How can he? But at the same time, I was like, I was shocked about what he was doing, you know?
Yeah.
And when I started understanding MMA better and everything, I got even more fan of him.
Yeah, no, I mean, Goes, my co-host here, that's his favorite fighter of all time is Sakuraba. We remember that. And you know what sucks, Matthias, is we never got to see Rickson, Gracie, and Sakuraba, because I think if Rickson beat Sakuraba, it really would have cemented even more the legendary status that he had. And then if he lost to Sakuraba, imagine how much that would have lifted Sakuraba's profile to give somebody their first loss. It's too bad it never happened, you know, with them too.
Yeah, unfortunately, that has some fights that we really want to see and we can't see. And I was afraid of not be able to see Mayweather and Pacquiao too, you know. And unfortunately, this happened, but it was one of that fight that everybody wanted, and I was afraid of don't happen, you know.
Can you name another fight that you wish you would have happened that never happened?
I have to think that right now it's difficult to say, but for sure that has some fights that we want to see and we didn't see.
How about you, Ghost? Can you think of some?
Yeah, Marco Ruas, the king of the streets,
right.
and Don Fry.
That would have been a good one. I was thinking Ronda and Cyborg would have been a good one. Yeah, Randy and Fedor would have been a good one. Yeah. All right, this is Matheus Nicolau we're talking to, folks. UFC flyweight coming off a win over Louis Smolka. He's 13-1-1 overall. He is 3-0 in the UFC. He's got a 6-fight win streak. So, Matheus, 2018, what does it look like? You want to have 3 fights, 4 fights? Who do you want to fight? And do you even think you should fight for a world title then? Or do you still want to get a little bit better before you fight for a world title, maybe 2019?
I like to live like step by step, you know. Right now, I just entering 2018 with a very good victory, you know, was like the best way that I could imagine to start my year. And I'm really motivated to make that year a really good year for me in my career, you know. I don't know what's gonna be my next step, but I'm pretty sure that I want a top ranked guy. That's what I'm looking for, you know. I'm looking for the top. And I know that I have to live day by day, you know, focus on every day until get there. But I have that mindset, you know. I think that I have everything that I need to go there. And when the opportunity comes, I'll be ready, you know. So right now I'm kind of relaxed a little bit and kind of in a short vacation. And when I go back to Brazil, I'm gonna sit with my manager and stuff. Gonna see what's the next step in my career, and then I'm gonna continue to make my way to the top.
Right now, at this time, you don't have a name, is what you're telling me? A particular name you'd like to tangle with?
No, I don't really have a name.
Okay.
What I have is that he's a top ranked guy that I want. And I don't know. I don't wanna fight a Brazilian guy. I rather fight some guy from around the world. You know, I don't see that I need to fight a Brazilian guy. And I want a gringo and a top ranked guy. That I can tell you for sure.
And why is that? Is it because you're very close to all the Brazilian fighters, or is it just because it's just a nationalistic thing? You'd like to see the Brazilians, grow again, or how can you explain that?
Some of them, they are top ranking, and they are higher than me in the ranking. I already trained with them, and I know them. And I don't see why we have to fight right now. Like, if I have to fight them for a belt or for something like that, that's okay. Like, it's both of us fighting in the top of what we love. But right now, I think I have other opportunities, I have other opportunities that I can catch, and I don't need to fight them.
Okay, fair enough. I would say then, see, the UFC likes to book somebody that's coming off a win versus somebody that's coming off a win, somebody that's coming off a loss versus somebody that's coming off a loss. I would say that if we kind of work on that criteria, and of not fighting a Brazilian, then the names that are out there are Cejudo, Benavidez, and also fighting somebody ahead of you. And that's about it. Otherwise, you'll have to go backwards. And, it may work, actually. As crazy as this sounds, it may work because Benavidez, I believe, is still recovering, and Cejudo may have to take one more fight if Demetrius Johnson fights TJ Dillashaw. So, Henry Cejudo, what do you think of that one? Are you ready for the number 2 guy or the number 3 guy, depending on what rankings we're looking at? Are you ready to take that guy on right now, Matthias?
I'm ready for whatever, I'm training like a champion since I was 17 years old, and I really believe that I'm ready for whatever. And let's see what UFC have for us. Let's see if he wants, And I'm open. I'm open to discuss and take them. Like Cejudo will be a big challenge, a huge challenge for my career, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a huge challenge, because I live for that, and I know that I can get a huge challenge like Cejudo. Really respect him,
right.
But I think that we can make a really good fight, not just for us and for the fans.
The only other gringos out there are Pettis, but he's coming off a loss, and Moraga, but Matthias already beat him. So, anyway, all right. Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. That is another huge challenge for me, I like his style. I trained with him once in Jackson Wing. He's a very nice guy. I really respect him as a martial artist, he's really good and will be a good challenge. He come from a loss from Cejudo, but still being a good challenge. And I have other names that is still being a good challenge for me, even they come from a loss, like we have the guy, I forgot his name, he's on top of me. I think he's number 11 or something like that. He just he lost for Moreno, but then and he lost for the Russian guy too.
Well, Moreno's fighting Ray Borg, and Ben Wynn's fighting Jussier Formiga.
Ortiz.
Oh, yeah, Ortiz. He's got a fight, too. He's fighting Alexander Pantoja. So they're busy right now.
Oh, he's fighting Pantoja?
Yeah.
Nice. Pantoja is a Brazilian, really nice guy. Yeah, let's see. Right now, like I said, I'm on a vacation, and I think while I'm resting here, some stuff's gonna happen, and then we can have a better idea of what possibility we can catch,
Goes, what do you have for Matheus Nicolau?
Matthias, when you get to that belt, do you firmly believe that Demetrius Johnson will still be the champion of the division?
I can affirmative that, but I think he's still the champion, I really believe he's still the champion until I get there. That's what I hope so.
How often, like what percentage would you say that you've actually maybe trained for him when you don't have a matchup waiting for you? Do you actually watch his fights and kind of formulate a plan of what would happen when you do get there?
This is something so natural, like for me, he's the best pound for pound in the world as a martial artist, from a while, and this is something natural. I watch all his fights, and I just study him naturally, I even do some stuff like he's doing just for watching him. It's like when you are the champion, no matter what, to beat him, everybody studies you. Like the kid who is going to the gym at the first time, he's watching your fights, he's watching your tapes, and then he's studying you. You know, that's what happened. That's why I think that when my opportunity comes, I will be ready to take the belt, you know.
All right. Well, Matheus.
For now, I don't train specifically for him because I have other things to worry, to focus on. And like I was focused on Smoker, right now I'll be focused on my next step. But I'm pretty sure that when the times come, I'll be ready.
Matheus, it's been great getting to know you here on the show. Congratulations on the win. That was an amazing win that you had on Saturday at UFC 219. Great way to close out the year. Again, 3-0 in the UFC is a great start. 13-1-1 as an overall career is great as well. I love the hashtag Death Before Dishonor. You got a lot of things going for you. An exciting Brazilian fighter who speaks English. So anyway, thank you very much for the time, sir. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the vacation.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope you guys like it. I hope my English was not that bad. And as I say, another opportunity, you know, I came here for put some fun in the weight class, in the weight division. And I think you guys could see that on my fight against Smoker. And I hope to keep performing good for you guys to have some fun and enjoy my fight. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Matheus. All right, folks, there you have it. That's Matheus Nicolau, and we're going to go to a break here, and a shout-out to Fernando Prates for setting that up. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93.
So much more than I can carry. I keep dragging around what's bringing me down. If I just let go.
They were forged from the same ball sack, but act as though they've never met. They are the brothers Garcia, Gorgeous George and Goes.
Sirius XM Radio is giving our subscribers the chance to win an opportunity to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota for Super Bowl 52. One grand prize winner will receive a trip for two, including airfare, 3 nights hotel stay, and 2 tickets to Super Bowl 52 on February 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're a football fan, this is the ultimate prize. No additional purchase is necessary. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Super Bowl. Before January 24, 2018, the NFL entities, as defined in the official rules, have not offered or sponsored this sweepstakes in any way. Well, that's a great prize.
Yeah. Whatever happened to the never miss a Super Bowl club guys? Are they still around?
There's like 4 of them, right?
Yeah, 4?
Yeah, I don't know. I know there's a few media that have never missed a Super Bowl.
Really?
Are you talking about the 4 friends that went to all of them, or just like is there 100 people that
the 4 guys from the commercial?
Oh,
are
yeah,
they still alive? Or?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a great trick.
I still have never been to one.
Me neither.
Matheus Nicolau can be followed on Twitter. It's the reverse of his name. It's Nicolau Matheus. I'm going to spell it out for you. NicoLauMatheus. Follow him on Twitter. Let him know you heard him on the @MMA Junkie Radio Show with @MMA Junkie George and @TheGoes. And again, thank you to Fernando Prates for lining that up. And yesterday, I failed to thank Randy from San Francisco, the official site coordinator for MMA Junkie Radio, for assisting in getting James Krause on. All right, folks, we're going to take another break. So we pushed up here against the hour. And when we come back, we'll have UFC Bantamweight Champion TJ Dillashaw on the show. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93.
I'm gonna have me some honey. Cost me my very last time. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always...
Guys, you're clear. I'm gonna try TJ right now. Be right back.
Thank you, Danny.
You are welcome.
Come and move that in my direction. So thankful for that, it's such a blessing, yeah. Turn every situation into heaven, yeah. Oh, you are my sunrise on the darkest day. Got me feeling some kind of way. Make me wanna savor every moment slowly, slowly. You fit me, tailor-made, love how you put it on. Got the only key, know how to turn it on. The way you never lie my ear, the only words I wanna hear. Baby, take it slow so we can last long.
Tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy acercando y voy armando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso.
Oh yeah.
Ya me está gustando más de lo normal. Todos mis sentidos van pidiendo más. Esto hay que tomarlo sin ningún apuro.
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito. Quiero desnudarte a besos despacito, firmo en las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito.
Quiero desvelar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo, que le enseñes a mi boca.
All right, folks, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. I'm digging the song, but we can't keep a world champion on hold for too long. TJ Dillashaw is our next guest, 15-3 overall, 7 KOs, 3 submissions. That's 10 finishes. He's also got 7 performance bonuses along the way. He had a great stint on The Ultimate Fighter. He did finish as the runner-up, but since then he's gone on to win the UFC Bantamweight Championship, twice. He's also got 2 title defenses. And you know I'm a big admirer of not just winning it, but defending that bad boy. And so he was crowned champion for the second time in November of 2017. He's also a father. So congratulations to the champ. He joins us now on MMA Junkie Radio. What's up, TJ? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing real good. Thank you.
Fuck, what a year, man. I mean, great year. But the close of the year, to win a world title and get your belt back. And then Bronson, your baby boy, was born December 28th. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's unreal, man. I get to do everything at once. You know, first time I won the belt, I got married. Second time I won the belt, I had my first child.
Yeah. Well, you know, I guess what went through your mind as you were holding your baby boy? I mean, and I know there's some personal stuff there, but what I mean is in terms of how it will affect your career. Did you feel like, wow, you know, like I want to win a belt for you, or I want to work even harder for you? Like, you know, once you had time to decompress and obviously enjoy the birth of your boy and be with your wife, in terms of tying it into MMA, or even have you had a chance to do that?
No, I don't know if I've had time to really relate it to the world of MMA, but just life in general, I guess, you know. It's just a crazy thing, just the whole process of it. And, I mean, dude, life's a miracle. It's crazy to witness how it goes down. And I'm just thankful he's healthy and pumped to be holding him every day. And, yeah, man, it's crazy. Crazy to be a father. I guess I have to grow up now. If I'm a father, I have to become an adult. I can't be a kid forever.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny because we've always heard that you're very, very driven. You're not the guy that skips a practice. Yeah. You're not the guy that languishes or takes a drill off or anything like that. We've heard that from a lot of your former teammates, current teammates. In fact, even people who things haven't ended as well. For example, we had Justin Buchholz on the show, and he said, man, I just knew that we were up against a tall task because I know how TJ is. He just does not, he's obsessed, you know, with winning world titles. And so a lot of times when fighters have kids for the first time, they always say, I'm going to train even harder. And that's why I was asking you that question. I don't even know that the baby will motivate you to have to train harder because you've always trained harder. So, you know, that's why I started off with that question, I guess, to explain it a little further.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I've always knew that hard work has got me to where I need to be. You know, I wasn't like a kid that was naturally gifted when I got into wrestling. I was one of the ones that had to work super hard to get where I wanted to, and that work ethic just kind of transferred over to life as well as fighting, you know?
Mm-hmm. And so you closed out the year as the world champion, and you know, you had your baby boy, and now that you've had a little bit of time off, I'm not even going to ask you if you write down goals for 2018 or if you have resolutions, because I just know how you are. But I guess, yeah. When do you even want to start thinking MMA, whether it's a super fight or a title defense, and you know, start focusing on that?
You know, man, it's no matter what's going on in my life, it's always crossing my mind. You know, no matter the work ethic, like you said, the goal setting and what I want to do. I mean, it's always going on. So I'm reaching above and beyond. I mean, it's something that drives me every day. You know, I want to beat the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and that's Demetrius Johnson. You know, and by him continuing to run, I feel like it's not a good look for him, as well as it'll prove some things for him to actually really come and step up. You know, so. I would love the challenge to make the weight, and I know it's going to be a process for me to make the weight because I'm lean at 135, but I already know it's doable. I was close to doing it already, and I feel like that's a personal goal that is going to be the biggest for my career. You know, I think it's the biggest fight of 2018. I think it's the biggest thing we could possibly happen for my career, to be able to get to that pound-for-pound top notch. You know, I mean, that's been the goal. said it time and time, you know. I wanted to be the #1 pound fighter in the world.
Let me ask you a couple questions that might sound contrarian, but I know it's what MMA fans and media think because they've said it. Why do you feel like Demetrius is running, per se? I mean, I know that there was that opportunity for you guys to possibly fight, and you know, I thought he gave his reasons, but do you feel like it's been enough time where it's like been like a 2-year chase where you can actually say he's running from you?
You know, yeah, I mean, I feel longer it goes, it validates my point, but there's so much more to the story, you know, like, not that it was a possibility of us fighting, it was like, it was, understood that was what because he wanted a bigger fight, you know, his record-breaking fight,
right.
They were giving pay-per-views, he wanted a bigger name than Ray Borg, he was complaining about having to fight Ray Borg, he wanted to fight a bigger name, all this stuff, and they were telling him, like, we don't have anybody for him, this is it, you know, and then 3 weeks later, you know, Cody drops out to fight him. It's a big deal. It's going to make big pay-per-view numbers. They come to him with it. He's like, nah, I changed my mind. I want Ray Borg. Ray Borg's the guy that deserves a title shot, kind of thing, you know. So if he would have came out and said everything he was saying to the UFC and the media and reversed it, then it would be a little more relevant of how he's running. But from him saying what he said to the matchmakers and then, you know, trying to make them look like liars, it's yeah, he's been running. So hopefully it's to really pump this thing up and to get him paid the right way. But that's something that I'm shooting for. You know, those are the goals for me for 2018.
I want to see this fight, and I want to see it in Vegas at UFC 222. Does that work with your timeline, by the way? It's like March 3rd or something like that. March 3rd. March 3rd. Yeah.
You know, from the way me and my coach have gotten it down, I need at least 16, 18 weeks to make the weight the right way. So. When this comes about and they tell me it's actually a real deal, because I can't just go and change my body if I'm not going to go to 25. If I'm going to stay at 35, it's something I got to stick where I'm at right now. But as soon as I get the word that it's official, we sign the contracts, you know, I need 16 to 18 weeks to make the weight correctly, because I'm not gonna crash diet. I'm going to go out there and be my best self, and to do that, I'm going to need the time. I'm going to do it right. Do it right with the diet. I'm going to do it right with the way I'm working out.
Okay, I'm feeling that. Also, the other contrarian thing I was going to say was, you know, a lot of fans kind of have had their fill of the money fights a little bit, because even though they're pretty epic, we love seeing them, it seems to, like, put divisions on hold. So for those that will think, well, you know, bantamweight's just getting ready to surge again, you know, we had the years where Dominic was hurt, and, you know, we had to go through interims, and then they took the title away from him, and you know, Cody kind of, I mean, he only really defended once in 2017, or didn't defend, but, you know, he lost to you. Right. So it seems like now that things are heating up with Asansa, Moraes, Rivera, why would the champ not want to defend now? How would you address that?
That I think it is the biggest fight that could happen in the year, as well as not for myself. I mean, I'm going to be selfish here. It's the biggest fight for myself. But as well with my weight class, you know, I feel like, yeah, these guys are making a rise. They're making a name to the top. But which one do you give it to? You know,
right.
Why not make them guys fight off for the spot? It's not like one of them is completely chosen to take the fight. You know, I would have loved to have been Dominic Cruz, but he hasn't been able to fight. He's been hurt. You know, that would have been a great fight for me to get back. That's one that I definitely want to get back. But you know, the guy can't stay healthy, and he hasn't fought since he lost the belt. So it's since that happened, I think it even gives me more of a reason to even fight Demetrius Johnson, you know, because I felt like Cruz would have been that guy, you know, defend a loss that I felt that wasn't deserving, you know, had a great storyline, you know, he's a great fighter, so it would have been something like that. But I think these other guys making their way up, you know, they still got the, it's almost like the semifinals, if you would say.
Mm-hmm. And TJ, taking you back to New York, you know, so obviously you won the fight. Cody did shake your hand and clap his hands when you were being announced, and then afterwards some stuff's been said. But what I wanted to ask you was, from what we heard, Justin was the only one from the team that behind the scenes came and said, you know, whatever he said, whether it was congrats or just shook your hand. Yeah, it takes a lot, obviously, because a lot had been said. But did that mean anything to you? And then the ones that didn't, did that affect you? And I guess, where do you stand with all that now? Do you think like it's buried in your past, or is it just something that'll always be out there?
You know, it's definitely, in my past at least, it's buried. You know, it's buried and put behind me. And I would expect it to be a little bit more of a neutral feeling once the fight was done and said. But they're holding on to some bitterness. You know, they're holding on to, you I came in. They put a lot of hype on Cody, and I came to shut that down. So they're a little bitter about it. With Buckles, yeah, man, it did feel good because me and him were friends for real close friends actually for 6 years. When I first started coming up to Team Alpha Male, he's the one I lived with. He's the one that I cornered every one of his fights when I was there. He cornered me in every one of my fights. We were very close friends. So I mean, for him to mature up a little bit was kind of nice. Obviously it pissed me off for the way he acted throughout the whole camp, but it is what it is, and for me, it's behind me. It's probably a lot easier for it to be behind you when you come out victorious.
Did it mean? What did it mean to you when they would show, I guess, your coach Dwayne? Because I know that there was a big exhale from a lot of people on your side. They would show your wife, your coach. You guys have been put through a lot, because of this rivalry. And at least for now, you have the belt, and things went well that night. But this wasn't just for you, right? I mean, it was for a lot of people that surrounded your family and your coaching staff, I guess.
Yeah, man. It's not going to go well that night. It's going to go well as it happens, and I truly believe that. I made the right decision. I was forced into it, but I was forced into the right decision, And, there was a lot of built up, I guess you would say, pressure. I didn't really try going into the fight with that pressure, but I know it was there. I'm not dumb, and seeing Dwayne's reaction after the fight, my family, our brother was in my corner, and he couldn't help himself but yell some things out and start a little bit of ruckus there. My family coming into the octagon and saying, like, karma's a bitch and all this stuff, Like, it was me trying to tell them, like, look, let's be good winners as well as holding ourselves every day, So, but yeah, like, to answer your question, tons of pressure. But I didn't go in there with that pressure. I had to go in there and have some fun and ultimately just prove that I made the right choice. I was given an ultimatum and I chose right. I took the red pill or the blue pill, and I took the right one.
There you go. This is the UFC Bantamweight champion, TJ Dillashaw, here on the line. One of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. He is also a recent father for the first time. Bronson Jack Dillashaw, born on December 28th. I mean, that's an amazing 2017. All right, Goes, what do you have for the champ?
TJ, George brought up money fights, and I know that you were stopped one time and asked about Floyd Mayweather, and I know a lot of people look at that and go, that'll never happen, but we kind of did that with Mayweather and McGregor. So my question for you is, when you think of a scenario like that, like, how much time have you even sat down and thought, well, this is actually what I would do to Mayweather. This is how I would fight the fight. This is how I would finish that guy. Like, how much time, and can you even share what that would even look like for you?
I mean, when it was asked to me, obviously you think about it in your head, but I just don't see it being. I mean, the whole McGregor Mayweather thing, yeah, we thought it was a little far fetched, but I feel this is even more far fetched. There's just so much that goes into MMA that would be such big holes for Mayweather to even kind of, pretty dangerous for him to fight anyone on the roster of UFC, And so, yeah, obviously you think about it when it's asked you. Obviously, if that's something that happened, it'd be game plans. It'd be really. Yeah, I mean, I haven't spent too much time thinking about it because I really don't think it'll ever happen. But it'd be awesome if it did. It'd bring a lot of attention from the boxing world, and I'm sure it'd be a blockbuster.
Anytime you talk about the 125 division and going down there, you've always been very confident about not just making the weight, but performing well at that weight. When you envision all that, would you ever do kind of like a pre-cut before all that just to see how you would react, or do you just kind of know deep down inside that you would be just fine?
Well, I kind of already did. I already did kind of do a pre-cut to answer your question. So when Cody pulled off from the fight, they called me. The day they told me, they called me and told me that Cody pulled off from the fight. We were supposed to fight in July of 17. I told him, I was like, look, man, then I want Demetrius. I want to fight Demetrius Johnson. I want a belt. I believe I'm still champion, so I should be fighting for the title. And Dana loved it. He told me, like, look, I love that. That's what's going to happen. You're fighting Demetrius Johnson. Let's try to do it. August 19th, we'll do it in Seattle. I was like, done. So I was waking up at that time at 154 in the morning. I had to check my weight in the morning. And within 3 weeks, he told me that. So from 3 weeks until I heard it wasn't going to happen, I was strictly on my diet, strictly on my starting to work out differently. And I went from waking up at 154 to waking up at 140. That's only 15 pounds overweight, and I did that in 3 weeks. If I really give myself the right amount of time and do it and stay dedicated, I think it's a very, not only doable thing, but I think I'll feel great. You know, I was feeling faster. I was feeling awesome. Because of the reason I happen to be that strict and that dedicated to something, it kind of gives you that fire. You know, if that makes sense. It's not just the day in and day out, you know, meticulous kind of training. It's something new. You know, it's a new challenge. It's something to really challenge yourself, and it kind of lit that fire. And I was feeling great. I know it was only 3 weeks, but I was feeling amazing.
Whenever we watch your career, the one thing that's always stood out for me is just the one thing that I think is very difficult for other fighters to replicate is your footwork, the way you use those angles and all that stuff that you use there. Can you share with us, like, what do you think is the hardest part of your game for you to develop? What took you the longest to get comfortable in?
Shoot, the longest? I mean, as a whole, everything, I feel like it's all kind of taking some time, but really just getting the confidence in there, you know? I mean, when I first started, I was strictly a wrestler, and, you know, I had to try to hype myself up to believe in my stand-up, but until you really start clicking things together, until I really, like, you know, I always knew that I was doing good before Dwayne got to team off of me, but when Dwayne came out and kind of reassured what I was doing was right, it kind of gave me confidence behind my stand-up. You know, before when I was like, I felt like I was putting a Band-Aid over something to try to hide a wound. But when Dwayne got there, he was showing me that there was no wound, that I actually had to stand up, and that I could be a world champion, and I could be a world champion kickboxer, you know. And with that confidence he instilled with me, and just the way he kind of coaches and the way me and him see eye to eye, I think that took me the longest throughout my career to figure that out. And obviously, it was great to need his help to do it. But yeah, I'd say that would be the biggest thing is just the mental belief in some of your game.
Your boy Lomachenko also finished with a strong, he had a money fight as well versus Rigondeaux. And in the past, we've heard you guys have trained. Would you say that you've moved past just being like a training partner? Like, do you consider him a friend? Do you guys exchange texts? Or, you know, like, how do you define, I guess, your relationship with Vasyl Lomachenko, pound for pound, the best boxer on the planet?
We have mutual friends. I wouldn't say that we're exchanging texts or anything like that. He doesn't speak English, so it's not, there's that language barrier there. You know, we both have shown respect for each other's martial art. So far, I haven't got to get as much time as I wanted to in. We've always been in camp at the same times, or he's back in Ukraine, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But you know, so we haven't really become friends. It was just kind of a mutual respect, and especially when I went up there and sparred. I think I did a lot better than I thought I was going to do, you know, that I'd be able to hold my own a little bit. So he really gassed me out, was just on me, you know. The guy's amazing. He's got great reaction times, and he's a workhorse, you know. So he is, pound for pound in my eyes, he looked amazing.
He's got a unique style, and I wanted to see if, because I know you're pretty much a sponge when it comes to this, and where I watch, though, is not the fight. I watch when you're hitting mitts with Dwayne just to see if you've kind of picked up any of, you know, his type of tricks and the way he approaches, you know, boxing, which is, you know, a little bit different from other people. But he's definitely a unique individual. Even if you learned one thing from that guy, man, you're definitely way ahead of everybody else. It seems like he's redefined, I guess, you know, stance and angles and footwork. He's amazing, actually.
Yeah, man. To an extent, he definitely does gravitate out of his stance. So mainly he sticks to his southpaw stance. You know, here and there he'll create some angles to switch it up. You know, there are some things that he does. I'm able to study him outside of training and just watching, because I've been a fan of him.
And lastly,
seeing it done on you is another thing. You know, so yeah, he definitely picked those things up. I think the thing that picked up the most though were the things he was doing outside the ring. You know, his reaction time drills and kind of stuff he does to continue making himself better, not only hitting mitts or training.
Lastly, TJ, I wanted to ask you, you got a bunch of bantamweights that are gunning for you. And I wanted to know if from your throne, do you watch these guys? And I'll give you an example, like Cody's in Thailand. And I'm wondering if you're wondering, like, what he's thinking, just how motivated he is. Because that motivation is probably what drove you to become a two-time world champion, you know. So these guys are going to be gunning for you. And what's it like to sit at that throne? Do you sit back and laugh, you know, knowing that you're forcing other people that you know, to go out and work even harder? Is it a respect thing, you know? Like what do you think about when you watch all these other bantamweights that are just climbing to get to you?
That's a respect thing.
Oh, TJ, we kind of lost you there. Are you still with us?
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think now we can hear you.
You got me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I got bad service at my house. But yeah, man, I mean, this happening to me the second time you come in champs again. So the first time I won it, you definitely are paying attention to what everyone else is doing, the target on your back, and you're worried about this, worried about that. But now, to the point now, it's just I'm going to stick to my game, and I'm going to continue to get better. There's no way, no matter what those guys do, no matter how motivated they are, they'll never be more motivated than me. I always tell myself that there's no way they're going to be getting up in the morning. There's no way they're on a year-round diet, which is more of a lifestyle. They're not doing the things that I'm doing, and that's how I stay so confident. That's how I know that I'm going to continue to make those gains. I'm not going to be a guy that gets on top and then is not worried about those guys chasing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what those guys are doing, but you don't stress it. You just make sure that you're continuing to grow.
Yeah. And lastly, we saw a picture with you donning the Raiders gear. You're a longtime Raiders fan and all that, and I'm sure they're moving to Vegas. But what I wanted to ask you was, did you buy a new house in Orange County? Is that your house that you guys took that picture in?
Well, I'm renting a house right now in Orange County, but I have just got done. The house that I took the picture in was here in Colorado.
Oh.
We just built a brand new home out here in Colorado, and we've been out here. So we just had our child, but I have a house also in Orange County as well. We're starting our own team out there, and we're gonna grow a legacy out there as well too. So my life is kind of back and forth in between places.
Man, you must be getting paid. That house looked nice. Now that's not. You obviously said that's not yours, but slowly but surely.
Oh no, this is my house. The house I took a picture, and that's in my house. We built this house. My dad has built. My dad's a contractor. He builds custom homes in California, and this is a house he's actually built before back home, and I have redone it here in Colorado. And I have some friends that are contractors that help out. You got to do what you got to do and help out as much as you can, and then you have the house of your dreams.
Have you seen that house, Gus?
Yeah, it's dope.
It's really, really nice. And then he has the following one is a picture of your grandpa and your dad showing off the belt. I thought that was another cool thing to share with them. They must be ecstatic to have a grandson and son, have the year that he had, the big fight at Madison Square Garden. I mean, they must be really, really proud.
It helps me stay hungry as well. It also helps me stick true to my character by seeing those guys just being so proud of me. I couldn't ask for more. I have the greatest family.
Big fucking tree too, because your grandpa looks like a pretty tall dude, and that tree's like twice the size of him. But anyway, all right, we've taken up enough of your time. Man. Go back to being the father of that newborn baby, beautiful baby, and thanks for giving us some time here on MMA Junkie Radio. If it's the money fight, great, and if it's a bantamweight fight, then that's fine too. In fact, man, give me 30 seconds. If it is a bantamweight, who do you think deserves it? If that other thing don't work out for you, is there someone standing out above the others?
Shoot, man, that's a tough one to call. I mean, they're like you said, there's all these guys that are pushing out at the same time. You got Rafael Cincao, which I had a split decision loss to against. I think that was like 2013 or 2012 or something like that. He's been on a win streak. He's not very active, but you got him. Marias has been fighting every month. It seems like he's been looking good. Jimmy Rivera likes to talk. He's getting one under his belt, but they're all there, man. They're all there. You obviously got Cody, you got Dominic, so. Like I said, I feel like there's a little bracket there on their own to try to really prove who deserves the shot.
All right, brother. All right, thanks for the time, champ. Take care, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you. Bye. I thought it was very, very cool to hear from all the other people just how driven this kid is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's motivating for me to know that there's just these high levels of what these champions have to do to get to where they're at and to stay there. And that's all I've ever heard about TJ Dillashaw is just how obsessed he is with being a world champion. And that's what great people, whether you're a singer or an actor, you just have to be super obsessed. I've also heard that about that Daniel Day-Lewis guy. Is that the one from
the actor, the method actor?
Is that the guy from Kings of New York? Gangs of New York?
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, there's just an actual obsession. What's that?
I said Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York, yeah, Gangs of New York. So I admire that a lot about TJ Dillashaw. All right, you can follow him on Twitter, @TJ Dillashaw. Let him know you heard him on the @MMA Junkie Radio Show with @MMA Junkie George and @TheGoes and @Danny Otto as well. He's our producer. That's his Twitter handle if you want to give him a follow. He's also lead singer of a band called Automatic 253. You got any upcoming gigs, Danny?
Right now, we're going to be writing in most of January. We'll probably get a gig at the end of January, but we have February and March that we're doing right now. So February 2nd is the first one back.
All right. So, yeah, for those of you that are listening, you just started listening or listening for the first time, our producer is the lead singer of a band based out of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. That's where their gigs seem to be. And I think I've said punk in the past. So how do you describe it? I think you had another name to it.
It's just pop punk. It's catchier punk. It's more bouncy and stuff like that.
Yeah. At Danny Otto is his Twitter handle. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that interview. Hopefully we didn't take too much of his time, but I felt like there was a few things to cover there. You know what I mean?
He seemed like he was enjoying himself too.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, folks. We're gonna take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We will be looking out for Emil Meek, who is supposed to be joining us here in studio in about 4 minutes. Hard to miss, Viking-esque looking fella, who's got 9 wins and 2 losses, 7 by KO, and he's got a big fight coming up against Kamaru Usman. I can't wait, and that's just a few weeks away because it takes place on January 14th at UFC 124. That's headlined by Jeremy Stevens and Doohoo Choi. We'll be right back.
You're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. 'Cause you light up the park.
Okay, is it clear?
Hey, I thought about that a little bit more. And what if they were all in the room trying to figure out how they're going to start the song, and one guy was maybe just curses a lot, and he was about to give his input, and another guy told him, no, like that. And he said, look, don't matter, just don't curse.
So that noises.
Yeah, like him going, no, because we're already recording. And then he said, just don't matter.
No, here's what happened, goes. They started, and they went through about 100 takes, and they're like, will you shut up? Some guy was giggling. Someone's phone went off. And they go, that's it. This is the one. We're doing it no matter what. And just as they hit it, some guy went, kind of yawned.
That's pretty good.
And then they went, no. And then they said, no, let's just keep it. It's funny. We'll freak out some chubby Latinos years down the road over this. And it turned out to be us. Although Goes is skinny now, so he stole my name. He's Skinny G, is what Big Ralph's been saying.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, he goes, the real Skinny G.
I get beat up today.
Let's see here. Oh, Georgia Bulldogs in the house.
What a crazy game.
That's next week, though, right? Why are those girls here?
Well, they weren't Georgia game yesterday or the other day.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot of them here, but it was funny because there was more Oklahoma people.
Let's see here. Matt Lowe, sorry, on the Facebook chat says Cody getting done by Van Dam. Is it on, Gus?
Yeah.
The Facebook chat? All right. We're on commercial with SiriusXM. We got a few minutes. Matt Lowe says, is the TJ versus Cody on Fight Pass yet? I watched it live. It should be. I think it's only 30 days, and then it all goes on Fight Pass. Dale Lee says, cutting weight is a killer.
We know our geometry better than your high school math teacher.
Octagons, rings, and square circles on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app.
Explosive takedowns, jaw-dropping KOs, and electrifying submissions.
If it happens in the world of mixed martial arts, we're talking about it on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app.
All right, continuing on here on the Facebook chat, David Co. Lopez says, who calls out a guy smaller than him? Don't like Connor, but at least he went up. He don't want to see Cruz or Cody. What's that?
I said clear for 2.5.
Okay. So, look, David, I don't want to sound like a TJ Dillashaw cheerleader, because right now, obviously, I gave him a lot of props. I really do respect him a lot. He's become one of my favorite fighters because of just how driven he is and not just, the fights himself. So, take this with a grain of salt. But if you listen to the interview, he carefully said, I was training for Cody. Cody had the back problems. He pulled out. Around that time, DJ was having his complaints. He didn't want to fight Borg. He was going for the title defense. And TJ thought, well, heck, if Cody's out, this would be epic for me to be his 10th challenge to break the record.
Fought in that division before, so it's not like he's.
Demetrius has fought at bantamweight, and it seems to be the money weight era. Guys are going up. You know, GSP had the fight booked. So you're right. He is going down, but I think he was just trying to say, hey, look, this would be a great fight. I'd love to win another title. So that's why he chose to go in that direction. The question would be, well, why didn't he go up? I mean, Max really wasn't in a camp. I don't think that was. I don't think that would have been available to him because if Max said, I'll take TJ, then I think he would have had Frankie Edgar going, whoa, 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 I thought I had next. You know what I mean?
But TJ's got a lot of pressure, too, because he's supposed to win that fight. Regardless, if you're the bigger dude in the weight class and you're going down, you're supposed to win that fight.
Yeah, so maybe that helps make you understand it a little bit better. James Jimmy Hughes says, guys, hope you're going to get some football World Cup this year. Goes and George, hopefully see you guys at the stadium, man. Can't wait to see TJ. He's a good fighter. Shit friend. Sorry, my opinion. Guys, great to be seeing you guys. You rock. What stadium is he talking about? World Cup. We're not going to Russia. I know that. I'd love to,
we're
but
supposed to get like not the next one and not the one after that, but the one after that, I think, or something like that.
Matt Lowe says you guys need to get new tunes. Oh, he's coming at Goes and Danny because they chose the music for today.
Today was 2000. Anything from 2010 to 2018.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right. And a big Happy New Year from Scotland, and that's from James Jimmy Hughes. Maybe he means Man United or something like that. Maybe he means that stadium.
Coming back. Stand by.
All right.
They are the stretch marks on the underbelly of the MMA community. But hey, stretch marks are the new tats. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Start your day with SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device. Then tell Alexa to set the alarm for your favorite channel, and you'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. All right, we're waiting on Emil Meek. He says he's parked and he's running in. He just texted me right now. So
how much to text him back? Run faster.
I'll take it even further. I'll write run faster, fool.
I'd offer Chipotle, but you have a card.
You want me to write run faster, fool? Like that?
God, I don't know. Nah.
He'll walk in. I'll be like, hi. Nice to meet you. Like this big old long arm. I'm gonna do it. Do I get a Chipotle out of it?
Oh man, I mean, yeah. I don't know if that's.
What if he turns around? What if he writes me back and says "fuck you" and just runs back and we lose the whole interview over it? That would suck. I'm not so much scared about what he's gonna do. I don't think he'd slug me. There's cameras here. Security will be here in a second.
It's so directed at him that you can't even say like, "Ah, I meant someone else." Like, there's nothing you could do to get out of it.
Yeah. He
what
looks
did we
like
tell Danny the other day. We told Danny to tell somebody in the room something, and he said it.
He said it, but he blamed it on me. He goes, "Who said?" And I wanted him to say it himself.
So stupid.
All right, let's see here. I'm in the YouTube chat. This is what they're saying. Dan from Oregon. Oh snap! For the dunes. I don't know what that means. Knuckle up gives Knuckle Up 101 gives us a thumbs up.
Knuckle up.
Alex Sedaris. He says, guys, made this website. MMAmatchups.net for the MMA community. I am looking for feedback. Do you like it?
Cool.
I will tell you this. I think I said this before, Alex. And for anyone else. When you go into our chats or wherever and you spam, I'm usually not... I don't usually get too freaked out about it. Others do. All right? In fact, I did it. When we were Tag Radio, I would post our show on SureDog and MMA Weekly. I didn't know any better. And then finally I was told by some people, don't do that. And I stopped doing it. Holy shit.
That was awesome. Oh, you're so lucky you didn't say what you did.
Yeah, that's a very athletic individual right here. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Come here, you're right here, Emil. Yeah. I'm going to write to you. I'm going to text you right now what this guy was daring me to text you. All right? And you tell me what would have happened to me.
All right.
This is Emil Meek, UFC welterweight. When you wrote me parked running. He dared me to write something back, and I'm gonna write it right now, and I want to see your reaction to it.
Okay.
He was gonna pay me Chipotle to send you that.
I was gonna give him a free Chipotle if he.
What would you have done if you read that?
Run faster, fool. I would have run faster.
I said I would have stood there and said, "Hi, nice to meet you."
But
I would just have run a lot faster.
And he came over like that. You would have been in trouble, right?
Yeah, when he jumped over that was scary. Actually, I was like, "Whoa, do we have a score to settle or what?" But I thought what might happen was you might look at him and go, "Fuck him," turn around and leave, and we lose the interview.
I don't do that.
So that's why. Well, it's
I'm
nice
a nice
to meet
guy.
you. You are a nice guy.
Yeah.
What is that? What's going on right here?
I even brought a Norwegian milk chocolate for you guys.
Oh shit! Thank you.
Thank you.
How do you pronounce that?
Melkechoklade.
Melkechoklade.
Melkechoklade. No, almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
King size too.
King size.
Yeah. And what is that? Explain to me. That's you.
This is me.
Oh, okay, cool. You know what?
That's my
When
jersey.
I first saw you, look like a hockey jersey.
Yeah, it is almost. It's just fitted for my fans and for my army.
Where do I buy that? You have a website?
Yeah, it's only in Norway right now.
Oh, really?
So we sold out like 2 days.
Dude, that looks cool.
Thanks,
That
brother.
is pretty cool.
If you come to St. Louis, I'll hook you up with one.
St. Louis?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's quite a distance.
yeah.
No, but really, that's really.
Yeah, it's different.
A lot of fighters attempt shit, you know, and you look at it and we're forced to go, oh, yeah, that's cool. But this is really,
It is really
I like
cool.
it, yeah.
It's something I would wear if I weren't myself. Right?
Yeah. I can already tell that this interview is going to go well. You seem very charismatic and you have a great personality. So
well, I used 2 hours to get up today, so now I'm awake and now I'm good.
Yeah, it seems like you have fun in mixed martial arts and doing media and talking to fans. You're not like, you know,
yeah, I have to have
shy
fun.
or
Like
nothing
this is something. This is a big part of the whole thing. If I just shut up and fight, it will take me probably not so long. And I won't make any money, and I won't do any.
He gets it.
Yeah, and the other part is that something I learned the last years is that you have to enjoy yourself doing everything. This is a part of something I have to do, and if I don't enjoy it, and if I don't enjoy my training, if I don't, if I can't have fun with my friends doing all this stuff, it will be a boring ass life. If you just like, oh shit, I have to go to practice again, and then you practice and you don't have fun in the practice, and you just like waiting to get over with, then you're gonna have a miserable time being an athlete. But if you have fun with everything and you value meeting guys like you and like fun people, there's a lot of fun people in this business.
Yeah,
and just like have fun and be yourself and just have fun.
Where does your drive come from? Is it being a world champion? Is it the money that you would make, the fame? Where does it come from?
It's a hard question. I kind of want to be the very best I can be, and I think I have the qualities and gifts to make it to the very top. That's why I'm rooting to fight, Kamaru Usman, who's ranked now number 9, and he, I want to fight the very best and see. I want to challenge myself to perform at the very highest level. And
he's got the same part you do. I noticed. He's got the same part you do.
The cut?
Yeah, it kind of comes to the front. So does his.
It's something that
did you copy him?
All warriors do it.
Oh, is it all warriors do that?
Yeah.
All warriors do it.
All right. Now what's going on here now? When we booked this late last night, so I started looking and seeing you have you're on a 6-part series, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to catch up on that and see it.
Journey.
And that's what's being filmed right now.
Yeah.
The Valhalla Journey.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's my cameraman.
Whose idea was that?
I guess it was mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of good ideas.
And that is a great idea.
And my guys from Norway, from my gym, MMA Trondheim, we have a gym back home. So we my camera dude is not just a regular camera dude. He
trains. He's a fighter.
Yeah, he's a fighter. He came in second.
No offense, but you don't look like a fighter. He looks like just a nice guy, right?
He's a nice guy.
Like, give me your lunch. I'll take your lunch. And next thing you know, poof, I'm getting punched. But he looks like he looks like a nice guy.
Got the silver medals in.
He did?
Yeah, in the amateur worlds here for 2 years ago.
In what sport?
MMA.
MMA. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that guy. He looks like a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Right? It looks like he should be selling Mercedes-Benz or something like that. He doesn't look like a fighter. And what's the rest of your team over here?
As Thomas.
That guy's got guns.
Yeah, he got guns.
Thomas would be scared of.
Okay.
Thomas.
We got no problems. No problems.
And that's and she's I don't know, she
You don't know who she is?
oh yeah, she know. I was just trying to figure something
Oh,
fun
okay.
to say. But she's my girlfriend.
Oh, she's your girlfriend.
Very beautiful.
Okay, yeah, very very beautiful. You did well.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. All right, so clarify something here about the visa issues.
Yeah.
Was that really ever a problem, or what happened that this fight didn't happen here in Vegas a few weeks ago?
It just took a little longer time than expected.
But that wasn't to be in the country; it was to work in the country, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
because you've been in the PI for a while.
Yeah. But I got like I had the visa done. Like I got it before I went there. So I had it since December 5th. So since I got in there, but I don't know. They just made a big issue out of it. I have no idea why.
You like the PI?
Yeah, PI is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like an own personal gym where you get fresh towels, you get protein shakes, you get free food. You can bring your guys. You have a super nice locker room with like saunas and steams and hot and cold.
You gonna go there a lot? You gonna do a lot of camps there?
Every day.
You gonna move to Vegas?
If I do it in the future, I probably will do some camps there. Absolutely.
Kevin Lee moved there, and Ngannou moved there. Benavidez is there. Tavares, they can't get rid of him.
No.
So
Tavares
a lot of people are starting to.
Me and Tavares is working a lot together now, so it's been super fun, and like the Extreme Couture guys is so welcoming. Like I was here in 2015 trying out for the Ultimate Fighter, and we were over there working out, and they were just as nice to me back then as they are now. That you actually made it to the UFC and everything, so they're really solid guys there.
Doesn't he look like he would almost be related to Eric Nixick?
A little bit.
Yeah, but he's Eric Nixick is he has some Viking genes in him.
Does he?
For sure, yeah.
Awesome.
Are you a fan of the Minnesota Vikings, the football team?
I like them better than the other teams, but not like a big football fan.
Yeah, but are they your favorite American football team?
I don't know.
Just because they're Vikings like you are?
Well, I can't say.
You want to hear something?
Say.
Check this out.
Okay.
SiriusXM Radio is giving our subscribers the chance to win an opportunity to go to Minneapolis, Minnesota for Super Bowl 52. One grand prize winner will win a trip for two, including airfare, 3 nights, hotel stay, and 2 tickets to Super Bowl 52. On February 4th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're a football fan, this is the ultimate prize. No additional purchases necessary. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Super Bowl before January 24th, 2018. The NFL entities as defined by the official rules have not been offered or sponsored this sweepstakes in any way. My point is, this is in the home city of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
They have a great defense, and they have a great chance to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You should find a way to be there.
Yeah.
After your fight, you know, you got money in your pocket.
Right there.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not have a Viking in the town of the Vikings, especially if they make it to the Super Bowl?
He could lead them out with the flag. That would be cool.
Yeah, they have that cool horn and all that stuff when they make big plays. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, all right.
Cool. Have you been to any hockey games here in Vegas?
No, not yet.
No? What do you think of our hockey teams in first place right now?
And
they're a new team. It's their first year.
The Golden Warriors?
Golden Knights.
Golden Knights.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Almost. Close. Yeah. You know, I've actually never skated in my entire life until last year. You know, Matheus Nicolau is a player at the New York Rangers. He's from Norway, and he's like the biggest star in Norway and doing hockey. But and he has like a soccer games that every year they got charity going on. So you play against other celebrities, and I was just trying to learn how to skate so I could smash people like on the ice and just like go Viking on them. But I injured my rib just before that game. But I was getting my ass beat on the ice. Like I had nothing to do there whatsoever.
So you're not a good skater?
Not a good skater. I outskated a lot of kids like on the Cosmopolitan the other day. Me and my girlfriend were just going laps around them. So I was pretty proud of that.
So you learned it pretty quick then. She's a good skater?
You're better than me.
Yeah.
A lot.
Can you name another Norwegian athlete?
In soccer?
Yeah, any sport.
Any sport.
What was his last name? Flo was his last
Damn
name?
it.
Oh!
Flonaldo.
Tor André Flo.
Tori Andre Flo. He was like 6'6".
Yeah, he's
and all you had to do was send it to him, and he chest it, and he had this big wingspan. He was good, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Your turn, George.
No, you took mine. All right, one thing we like to ask the in-studio guests, can they tell us a good street fight story?
Street fight story?
Yeah, can you
The
tell us a
fun
good
thing
street fight
is
story?
I don't street fight.
No, you can go
In
all
the
the way back
past,
to when you
in
were
the
a kid.
No, but I've never done it.
Never, not one
8
time?
years old, no one stole your
cousin, a
lunch, a
brother?
bully.
Or just like schoolyard headlock.
No,
people.
nobody tried to pick up on your girl and you had to defend her. Nothing like
No, I
that.
don't do that.
Nothing.
Huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I came into this sport as an athlete, not as a fighter.
No, not. Well, that's true.
Well, but that's true. Like so, I
So
never,
what were you like when you were a young kid?
I was just.
You had a lot of friends.
I had I had a lot of friends, but we grew up in a town with 2,000 inhabitants. Like there was so little. You could just. Your mom could send you out and you could be back like from day to night, and you knew you would be safe. So we were just running around, jumping trees, and I don't know.
But when you got older, you and your friends didn't ever go to the next town and never have a problem?
Not much. I'm a nice guy.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
questioning
fight.
it.
I don't fight outside the cage, and I never done.
You had
it.
any close calls?
Yes, of course you have like close calls, but
yeah.
But people are assholes too. So.
What's Norway like now? Is it the same as when you were growing up?
What do you mean? Like?
Well, I'll give you an example. I know my geography.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, I know Sweden's a neighboring city, but I wake up and I see there's a lot of bombings in 2017, and I'm just wondering, is your country pretty safe, or has it changed?
Yeah, it's very safe.
Is it?
Yeah, we're definitely very lucky to be born there, and like with the economy, and it's very, very, very safe.
Is it still one of the more expensive cities to travel to, though? I think I've heard the Scandinavian countries are.
It's pretty fucking expensive.
Really?
Yeah, like.
Is the hotel like $100 a night or
like
$200 a night?
It depends. You can get like 100, and you can also get a lot more. But in general, like food outside and eating out is super expensive. Like
really?
I have a Big Mac. That's how much is that in here?
How much is a Big Mac? Like
$3.99
or something? $3.99, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. That's at least $15 back home.
Whoa! Just for the
that's
the combo or the sandwich?
Yeah, combo.
Oh, and you go big with a big large Coke and fry?
Yeah,
15
bucks.
Combo?
So, like at least 15
wow.
bucks.
Why'd you point to me about the Big Mac? Why'd you point? How come you didn't point to the
closest.
skinny guy?
I've been talking to you the whole time.
You didn't point to the skinny guy.
I've been talking to you the whole time.
I've had my share of Big Macs.
Hey, you have the chocolate.
Did you think?
Damn, I blew
you know
it.
the fighter George Masvidal?
Yeah.
So he loves Big Macs.
I know.
But what he discovered was you can get a quarter pounder with cheese and tell them to put the Big Mac sauce on that.
Ooh.
And if you want to go surf and turf, he gets the fish fillet, puts it in the middle, and smashes it.
Yeah, it's some
Smart,
kind of.
right?
Is that smart?
Yeah,
I don't know it. I don't know.
For the moment.
Do you like junk food?
Huh?
You like junk food?
I like junk food, but I know it's not good for me.
What's the best burger you had in the United States?
Oh, I'm a big fan of Wendy's.
Yeah, me too.
The what's it called, Baconator?
Yeah.
Baconator is good.
You know, we almost gave a fighter the nickname Bacon.
Baconator?
Actually, he had the nickname.
It was his nickname.
It was his
Okay.
nickname in the gym. No.
Okay.
It was his nickname, same division as you. We'll see if you can guess it. It was his nickname in the gym. He told us about it.
Johnny Hendricks.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because he's big.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah. Like he's a human. Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah, no, that was him. And we told him you should be the Baconator. You can get sponsorship
Yeah.
from Wendy's. This was years ago
Yeah,
before Reebok. He thought about it, but he
He should have done
became
it.
big
He
rig
should have done it.
eventually. But everybody
Big
would
rig.
call him the Baconator whenever he went anywhere. Hey, Baconator. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got to take our last break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. We have UFC welterweight Emil Meek here in studio with us. He'll be fighting on January 14th. It's a Sunday, not a Saturday. And he'll be fighting in St. Louis versus Kamaru Usman. Pivotal fight here for these 170-pounders. As we all know, they're all trying to get a shot at Tyron Woodley. All right, we'll ask him a few more questions when we come back. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. Stay close.
Every time I close my eyes.
pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
All right, folks, we're back, and we're coming down the home stretch of another fine edition of MMA Junkie Radio. We do this show 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. here at the Mandalay Bay Sportsbook. If you're ever in town, stop on by. Just bring that camera. You never know who will be in studio. Like today, we have UFC welterweight Emil Meek, who's fighting Kamaru Usman on January 14th. It's a Sunday, so it'll be after some NFL football. And the winner will be in a nice position in 2018 to get these big contender fights, maybe even a title shot. Goes.
We struck out on the street fight story, but maybe we can have him threaten us. We haven't done that in a while.
No. Yeah, threaten us in Norwegian. Pretend we owe you money.
What does that sound like?
You've had it up to here. We've owed you for a year.
We sound way too nice for threatening people.
And if we don't pay you by tomorrow, you're going to kick our ass. Say that in Norwegian.
Hey, hvis du ikke gir meg penger mine I morgen, så skal jeg faen meg drepe deg!
Yeah, that does look
That sounds pretty good.
What did you say?
If I don't get you, that's basically what he said. If I don't get your money by tomorrow, I'll fucking kill you.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Hey, do you feel like, I'm not trying to start shit, but this is really what I feel. Kamaru Usman is very confident, but I almost feel like he's overlooking you. You know, he's talking about Woodley and Covington, and
I think
what do you
he's
think?
trying to, he's an intelligent guy, I guess. I don't want to admit it, but he probably is. And
no, he seems pretty sharp,
he's probably just trying to put himself up in a position after the fight where he can get fights like that. And if he overlooks me, that's good for me. If I'm not expecting it, I'm expecting a good Kamaru Usman. I'm expecting him to prepare as well for me as anyone else. And yeah, so I don't really care what he says.
What a great division, though, huh?
Yeah,
Magny and Conda just fought. Ponzinibbio and Perry.
Like top 40 is fucking like tough guys.
Oh man, there's some beasts. Honestly, there's a really good fighters. And then how about the 55ers that came up? Like he brought up Masvidal, RDA, Cowboy Cerrone. You know, already with the other ones that were there. Absolutely. I think Lawler still have some more in the gas tank to give at some point. But it's a great division.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Lawler's my all-time favorite fighter.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, he just comes in like somebody posted some statistics about that. He's haven't tried one submission attempt like in his last 10 years of fighting or something.
He's got dynamite in his hands.
It's like he hasn't even like
He's your favorite fighter?
Yeah, favorite fighter.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the fight he had against Frank Trigg in Hawaii?
I can't recognize it.
Check that one out. Check that one out. Frank Trigg's a good friend of mine, and I was there for that one. But it was a vicious KO.
Yeah.
About as vicious as you can get. Lawler won the fight.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Good luck with the rest of your camp. Safe travels to St. Louis.
Thank you.
Good luck against Kamaru Usman.
Appreciate that.
All right, folks. That's Emil Meek. You can follow him on Twitter. Let me pull that up here.
Emil Valhalla only on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
There you go. It doesn't get any better than that. EMILVALHALLA. And also, they are filming a YouTube series.
Yeah.
I've seen episode 6 drop yesterday. So the Valhalla, am I saying the Valhalla Army?
Yeah.
You need to get on this. Well, you want to say it?
The last episode is fucking Uriah Hall got my Nerf gun, and he's going postal mental back in the PI. That's fucking hilarious.
So check it out as he leads into this fight with Kamaru Usman.
Thank you so much for the milk.
Yeah, you have a taste.
Yeah, bust that open, Goes. Let me thank our other guests today. Let me see here. Tomorrow, we haven't put anything together. Misha Tate will be here on Friday. And today's guests, Matheus Nicolau, thank you to Fernando Prates for that. TJ Dillashaw, I got to thank myself. I booked him. Emil Meek, I got a fist bump from Kevin Lee. He helped out with that one. All right, folks, for Emil and Danny back east and Goes, I'm George. Have a nice day. Go out there and be champions.
Yes. Champion.
Never be the same again. Gonna keep on running, gonna have me some money.